Hello, Conquering Mega Eagle, and welcome to the home of murderizing fire extinguishers. So, I'm going to make the fuel tank, combination fuel tank hydraulic oil tank for the dump truck, and we're also going to do the exhausts as well. Right, so just top and tailing the fire extinguisher here. Cleaning it up with a bit of fire. Get it medium done. Paint comes off easier there. I'm just cleaning up a bit of steel disc for the bulkhead between the two compartments of this dual purpose tank. I'm going to use banjo unions to take the fluids out of here, and it's really easy using banjos. You just need to weld a nut to your tank, and the copper washers on the banjo will seal up nicely against the nut. So I've just got the bolts holding the nuts in place whilst I weld them, and sticking half a pipe barrel as the filler neck at that end. I'll put a little one at the other end for the hydraulic fluid. And that's the divider, the bulkhead, the separator between the petrol and the hydraulic oil. And the end of the fire extinguisher is going back on here. Was a little bit pitted from corrosion, but not too bad. Just a little plate to cover up where the neck of the bottle was, and a bit of a pressure test as well. It's not going to have any pressure inside it, but I figured it would be a good idea to see if there's any little leaks, and there were a couple. There's a couple of little pinholes I found, so I'm glad I tested it. Alright, it's where it all got a bit crazy. I'm just filling it up with garnet at the minute. This is basically slag from the steel industry, but sold for shot blasting. I'm just shoving it in here to clean out the inside of the tank, and obviously we need a way of shaking it. The best thing I could come up with was I'm sure you've all guessed by now what I did with it. Yeah. Just gaffer taped it onto the saw. It actually worked out really well. Had to leave it running for quite a while, but cleaned the inside of the tank. I'll probably do this again. I'm giving it a little wash. Add some acid in there. I'm just cleaning it out with detergent now and hot water, just to degrease and get the grime from the garnet off and the residue from the acid away. The reason I'm trying to get it so clean because I tried electroplating it. I tried putting a nickel plating on the inside, but I couldn't get it to work. You know, it's my first attempt at nickel plating, but yeah, I should have done it on something easier to get to, so I could have made sure it was spotless and polished. But yeah, didn't work. I just painted it in the end. Either way, moving on to the bracket to attach the fuel tank to the dump truck now. It's going to be a panel, I suppose, to fill in one of the openings in the chassis, and the fuel tank sits in the opening in that panel. These are the sort of saddle, I suppose we'll call them the saddle bracket. It's going to hold the tank, two of them. And we don't want the tank sitting against the edge of the metal, so we then welded on. Next thing was to put some flats on the inside where the tank touches, give her a bit of surface area. There's a couple of little clips going on. This tank's going to be strapped in place, and these little brackets hold one end of the strap. There we go. That just slots somewhere in there, I suppose. Round about. Somewhere around there. Anyway, yeah, around about there, exactly there. No, right there, there. Yeah, there. Yeah. Okay, that got welded in place. You had to do another little modification on the engine. So this is obviously meant for a gravity fuel system. Having a tank higher than the engine, and my tank's going to be lower, so I need a little fuel pump, and the fuel pump I've got is a diaphragm pump operated by the vacuum pulse of the engine. You know, I think they're called pulse pumps. And the larger engines have a little takeoff, so you can operate these pumps. But these smaller engines don't come with the takeoff, so I'm making my own little plastic spacer to go between the carburetor and the cylinder head. Yeah. So the original one was only about a 1/4 inch thick, and there wasn't enough meat there to put a pipe through it and have a vacuum take off. So I found this lump of plastic. I bought it ages ago to repair a gearbox linkage on a Mercedes Vito, but never did the job in the end. Didn't need it. Just carried on going with a wobbly stick. But so what? I thought this was nylon, but having worked with it, I kind of decided that it's PTFE now, Teflon, to those of you that likes trademarks. But yeah, I suppose nylon's a trademark, isn't it? It should say polyamide. Whatever, does not matter, does it? I'm just slipping a brass pipe in the hole that I drilled there, and I can put the hose onto it. Here on the carburetor, I didn't want the fuel lines going over the engine, I wanted to run them underneath, so there's a steel elbow that's pressed into the carburetor, and I was just trying to rotate this 180 degrees so that the fuel can come up from the bottom. I did manage to turn it in the end, but then I had to tap it back in. Either way, modification's complete. You can see a little pipe at the bottom there, that's where the vacuum takeoff's going to be. And carburetor going back on. There we go, there's a fuel tank after it's had a bit of paint. And just going to put the banjo bolts. Banjo bolts are made as well, they're just M8 bolts with centres drilled. And then the shank of the bolt was cross drilled, so you don't want to buy the banjo bolts. Banjo bolts are really expensive. So the banjo fittings, to be honest, they're a couple of quid each. But you know, banjo bolts, buy them all together, and you can pay a fiver just for those little unions. So if you just buy the banjo and make the bolts yourself, then it saves a few quid. This I like. Yeah, this is one of my aims, is to have a fuel tank where you can pour fuel in straight from the jerry can. And I think I've achieved it. Those brass end caps that I've got on the tank, I think they're quite nice. Okay, I've just got the fuel delivery line open at the minute. I'm just curious to how quickly this little fuel pump that I've got hooked up, again that's only placed there temporarily. I'm just curious as to how quickly it's going to pick up fuel, and if I've got the pump in the right place, you know. I suppose I can mount it a little bit higher if I need to, but I don't really want to, because then I'm going to have problems with it priming, aren't I? Just turn it over and see what happens. Oh well, straight away. Well, not straight away, but pretty quickly. That'll run then, won't it? It should do. Should do. Stick that on there. Let's see if it will run. Okay, success. Right, so we figured out it works. Now to make some solid fuel lines, I didn't want hose running underneath the engine around the belt drive. So just made up some copper lines and soldering them together in it, because there's two lines running side by side, so might as well solder them, and then they're a bit tougher like that, aren't they? Thanks, Rambo. I'm just recording a video. Cheers, mate. There's the fuel pump going into its new bracket. And these are the breather lines. Got to have a decent bit of length from your breather lines. The hydraulic tank's obviously going to breathe quite a bit, because every time I pump the bed up, it's going to, there's going to be a pint of fluid moving out, and that'll need a pint of air to take its place, won't it? And as for the fuel tank, get a lot less condensation if you have long lines. Now onto the muff, exhaust system, whatever you want to call it. This is the original that came with the engine. Very, very nice muffler, really heavy. There's a nice shield on it. I can use it like that, so had to pretty much tear it all down to just the muff. Okay, just cleaning the welds off where they'd put attachment brackets on. I kind of wanted to use it how it was, but it wouldn't have worked, so the easiest thing to do is just to clean everything off it and start again. Make a bit of pipe up. This is the inch pipe. It's a little bit too large a diameter, but it's better than going small. and I had to do a bit of cutting and splicing here because my pipe bender wouldn't take the radius small enough, so it's the only way I could Okay, folks, there we go. So what have I done? I've made a fuel tank and a hydraulic oil tank out of the fire extinguisher. That's painted. There's going to be attached with those straps when we're done. Obviously the chassis and everything needs painting, so that's still bare metal, and because of that I couldn't stick nice rubber or leather strips underneath this strap, so you know it would have got oily and then it would have been great for sticking it onto the straps once the straps are painted. So that still needs doing once the whole thing's painted. We've got the breathers here. I haven't actually put the breather pipe on yet. You know, we're get everything made up, but I don't like this fuel line. This was silicone fuel line, but it's not actually fuel proof, so you know, I've given the seller some shit on eBay, but it won't achieve anything. But yeah, if you buy cheap silicone fuel line on eBay, don't expect it to be fuel proof. So I've got some rubber braided stuff coming, that'll be a little bit better anyway, but this has all got to come apart anyway for paint, so I'm not that fussed. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, yeah, got to put got to replace these fuel lines, but we've got the solid lines already in there. That's again going to come out for painting the chassis. But so that's the fuel system done. The pump works nicely. I did have my doubts about that, but that works very nicely. It's meant for a much bigger engine, so my doubts were based around the vacuum pulse being sufficient to operate it, but yeah, it's fine. And we don't seem to have any induction leaks on the spacer that I made up. That works nicely. Only time will tell. I thought I was using nylon, but I don't think it is nylon. It's pretty sure that's PTFE. I bought it to do a job on my woman's old minibus that she had. Well, it was mine, but I let her use it for transporting our children. Yeah, anyway, so, and the exhaust, that's the original muff off the engine, and made that tube up, welded it to the original flange that was on that exhaust, on that muff. And what, you just got two tubes and nuts welded on the end of them to act as a mounting bracket for that exhaust. There it is, and it's not too quiet. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if it was quieter, but it's not unpleasantly noisy. Yeah, that's that bit done. I will do the tipper body next, I promise, and that should be a fun one because we'll rip up that bottle jack and try and remotely mount all the components of the bottle jack for the hydraulics. This was a fun one though. I did enjoy that fuel tank and the exhaust. That was a lot of fun, and we are getting there. It's getting there, but I really need to get outside and start digging because this is taking too long, so I'll try and hurry up. Alright, okay folks, with that said, I shall bid you all farewell, but take care anyway folks, and make sure you hit the bell button, yeah, because I've got thousands of subscribers, but you know, you're all missing out on this lovely content because of what? I don't think YouTube aggressively pushes my my content even to those who are already subscribed, you know. But whatever, take it easy folks. Anyway, bye bye.